Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video, feedback video let's say. I'll go through some of the comments, some of the opinions on yesterday's video and work through those and just have a bit of a chat about what's going on. As you can see here today, it's a beautiful sunny day. The sun has finally decided to come out after about 3 weeks of grey, cloudy mornings. And as you can see, people are out and about. There's people riding bicycles around the place, people going for a run. People are happy that the sun is out today. And as I said, a bit of a feedback video on some of the comments from some of those non-believers, comments from the skeptics out there, comments from people that are saying that their rights are being taken away, that Spain is moving towards a dictatorship, and all of these rights that are being taken away at the moment are just stoking that fire every day. There's a lot of skeptics out there. People believe this is a plot. A lot of experts out there, people that are very well read on the topic of infectious disease, and of course they're putting their opinions forward and enlightening the rest of the population. So good to see. Now, a lot of talk in Spain at the moment about if it's a second wave or if it isn't a second wave. Nobody really knows. The Chief Health Officer, Mr. Simon, came out today and said that he doesn't believe it's a second wave and that the increase in cases can be controlled as it has been done in Catalonia and Aragon over recent weeks, and of course in Lerida, which also had a big problem a few weeks ago, and the situation more under control there. And it seems clear that that is the objective of the government, to try to control the outbreaks in localized areas and of course not go back to that strict lockdown that we had in earlier months. A lot of people skeptical about that also. Lots of people saying that they're just waiting for the tourist season to end and then Spain is going to be locked down again. The poor Spanish people will be locked in their homes like we were before, and that's the government plan all along. Let the tourists come, enjoy the country for the summer, and then when they all go home, lock the country down again. Don't think it's going to happen, but of course I'm not an expert. And of course a lot of talk about why Spain is the second worst country in Europe at the moment for coronavirus figures. Luxembourg is the worst country, Spain number 2, and Spain of course in recent days has cracked that 100 cases per 100,000 inhabitant mark, which is a lot more than the majority of countries in Europe. To give you an idea, here in Portugal it's about 25.5 cases per 100,000. And in the UK it's about 18.5 according to the data. So Spain way out ahead of other European countries, as I said, except Luxembourg, which is about 125. And the question of course is, why Spain? Why are numbers in Spain increasing so rapidly? Is it because of people that have come into the country? Is it because of tourists? Is it because of young people not respecting social distancing laws and all of those things? Is it because people aren't wearing masks? Is it because people are still hugging and kissing? And that could be one of the reasons. One newspaper suggested today that it is Spain's convivial culture, where people love to be together and love to socialize. And let's be honest, people in Spain do love to socialize. They love to get together with other people. They love to have group gatherings. They love to have family gatherings. They love to go to places where there are a lot of other people. It is one thing that people love to do. Now, I don't know if it's different in other European countries. Maybe in some other countries people prefer to be alone, but people in Spain, as I said, very social, and they love to get together with friends and family. And another hot topic yesterday was the smoking ban that 2 areas in Spain have decided to implement. If you're in a public space, you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes if social distancing can't be maintained. Walking down the street, sitting outside, having a drink, having a coffee, not allowed to light up a ciggy at the moment in Galicia and the Canary Islands. And I'm sure that in the future other autonomous communities will follow with something similar. I'm a non-smoker, and to be honest, I hate people smoking around me. There's nothing worse going to a place in Spain, sitting outside, having a drink, having something to eat, and you have a table full of people next to you who are puffing away, because smoking is still quite common in Spain. One thing that surprises my girlfriend every time we go to Australia is the lack of smoking that's going on. You rarely see people smoking in Australia nowadays, or at least in the circles that we hang around with. For example, if we go to a party, we go to a Christmas party, some type of New Year's Eve party, maybe there's 1 or 2 people smoking out of a group of 50, but in a country like Spain, sometimes you can get 25, 30 people smoking cigarettes if you go to a party or a get-together. And surprising to see just how many young people are picking up the habit of smoking in Spain. You would think that that all of the anti-smoking measures would be getting through to the younger generations, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And of course in Australia I can understand it because a packet of cigarettes costs about $30, but here in Spain you can pick up a pack of smokes for about 5 or 6 euros. So price is not putting people off smoking like it is in Australia. And that was one of the things yesterday that most people were up in arms about, the fact that another freedom is being taken away, the freedom of being able to smoke a cigarette if you like, the freedom of being able to sit down outside and have a coffee, have a smoke. That freedom of being able to sit down and have a smoke, that's been taken away. And a lot of people saying that that is just the beginning. But for me it seems clear. Every time somebody has a smoke, they pull down that mask, they suck on the cigarette, blow the smoke out, throw the cigarette down on the ground. That's the typical behaviour of a smoker. Not one of the nicest habits going around, so probably a good idea in my opinion in Galicia and the Canary Islands. And as I said, we'll wait and see if more places decide to do the same thing. Another thing that caught my attention in the press today was in Catalonia, and the government there has come out and said that if one student catches the coronavirus in the coming school year, they're going to quarantine the whole class for 14 days. So not much incentive there for parents to send their children back to school, especially if parents don't have the opportunity to work from home. If they have to go out and work every day, who's going to look after the kids in quarantine? Is it going to be the government that provides some type of facility, or are people going to have to take time off work in order to look after kids that are in quarantine? So that is going to be a problem when kids go back to school. And just to finish up, we'll have a chat about the Spanish language. Somebody in the comment section said they have a problem with the pronunciation of the double R. That can be one of the more difficult things to get your tongue around when you learn Spanish. That R sound, the double R or the trill sound of the R's. Very easy for Spanish people to do, but very difficult for English speakers to pick up. And it is quite important that you do pronounce that double R sound, especially with words like pero, but, or perro, which is dog. So there is quite a difference between the two. And of course, Spanish words that begin with the letter R, even if it's not the double R, also have that trill sound as well. So for example, Roberto, Ricardo. So you have to try to make that R sound when you speak Spanish. Not easy, but you've got to practice. And here in Portugal, the R sound is completely different again. So a lot of different sounds to get our tongues around. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. See you in the next one. Hasta luego.